Football is the sport most people would associate with concussions and the threat of CTE. In the world of combat sports, such as boxing and MMA, the risk of sustaining a concussion is a chance fighters are willing to take.
It's a reality, it's a sacrifice that fighters have to make. That we put our bodies in the way of that. We risk our health for all the glory.
They're going to happen no matter what. It's just part of the game. It's something you got to kind of prepare yourself for and just realize that's what's going to come along with it.
Comprehensive concussion care is a model made to test fighters before and after a fight for possible concussion symptoms. Currently, the tests are only required and regulated in 2 states, California and Nevada. The hope among fighters is eventually other states will follow suit. That includes Arizona.
I think they need to start taking the protocol as serious. I think partly the reason for that is because Arizona is not really known for a huge industry in the fight world, so it's not really taken so seriously compared to California and Vegas and other states like that, where it's a capital there.
Safety is a major concern at most gyms. They want their fighters to be as prepared as possible, and they make them go through the necessary steps before they are allowed to even make contact with each other.
So typically a beginner that's never done anything like this before, they would come in and do several bag classes while they get used to the form and technique of punching, kicking, learning distance, getting balance, and just kind of getting familiar with all of it.
For people up and coming into the sport, like people that have never done this, that are just starting to spar, I don't even let them touch each other in the head until I can see that they're very controlled with their actions and what they do.
Fighting against an opponent is no doubt a danger to the athlete. Some fighters, though, may not be aware that what they do in between their fights can be just as dangerous.
Concussion is a very real thing in combat sports. It happens daily. There are gyms out there that choose to spar every day. That's usually when concussions happen.
Fighting in the cage isn't the only place fighters risk sustaining a concussion. They often elect to spar in between bouts to stay in both tip-top mental and physical condition. Some fighters, though, are no longer sparring as often, and instead electing to train themselves in other areas leading up to their next fight.
Sparring is very important because you need to mentally be there to visualize yourself and be in that situation, especially in tough situations as a fighter, stuff that you're not good at, stuff that you need to practice and drill through. It's very important to spar and simulate those situations, but at the same time, if you're just constantly sparring, you're not really improving.
Technology has made leaps and bounds since concussions and CTE started becoming a hot topic. Right now, CTE can only be diagnosed after death. Fighters are hoping that with advanced technology and continuous research that eventually they can know before it's too late.
That's a good one.
I would just like to see more science behind the sports stuff. Our level of technology is so high now that we can scan the brains and do everything like that.
I feel like as more research comes out for CTE and we find new biomarkers and whatnot that let people know how to measure it and who has it, diagnose it and whatnot.
A study by the University of Toronto showed that when fights ended with a knockout between both MMA and boxing, concussion-like symptoms were found an average 20 times per fighter per 100 fights. That number is higher than both hockey and football combined. These fighters, just like other athletes, know the harm they face every time they schedule a fight, but are willing to do it anyways. I'm Isaiah Wrinkle, reporting.